Chapter 9. Cara. Cara picked up the phone and dialed Malone's number. After their meal at Fire Dreams, Cole had gone with her to purchase a new laptop, and now that it was up and running and she had downloaded both her and Steve's most recent research, getting Malone's help was the next step. She hoped that he could spare some help. She hadn't been close to finding a vaccine on her end, and neither had Steve unless he'd found something in the last month. Without his help, it would take her even longer to find a vaccine. And with the looming possibility of an exposure, that was time she didn't have.
"This is Malone?"
"It's Cara."
"Cara, are you okay?"
It had been fewer than 48 hours since she'd last spoken to him, but the concern in his voice made it seem as if it had been weeks. That was certainly a loaded question, considering what she'd been through in the last 2 days. "I've been better. Someone attacked me when I got back to my place yesterday morning. I fared better than Steve, but all of my research is gone as well."
"So whoever did this now has both of your research?"
"I'm afraid so. I was able to get a new laptop, and Steve and I had both uploaded most of our research to a cloud server. I haven't checked to see if he had discovered anything new yet, but I was wondering if you could send anyone to help. I have friends here, but none of them are researchers." There was a long pause on the other end, long enough that Cara held her cell phone out to make sure she hadn't lost the call.
"I'm not sure. It's been a little busy here, and we're short-staffed already."
Was he serious? She knew the department was small, but was there really no one he could spare? Had he forgotten how serious melioidosis was? What if they unleash it here? Malone sighed.
"I understand your concern, Cara. Somehow, I doubt Fire Beach would be the target of an attack. But I'll see what I can do. Give me a few days."
"Fine." Disgusted, Cara ended the call. She had hoped Malone would be available to help, but it appeared she was firmly on her own. "No luck?" Cole stared at her, sympathy oozing from his gaze. Cara shook her head. "Not much. Malone said the department is short-staffed, so he isn't sure he can send someone. Of course, he also believes Fire Beach isn't the target, so that probably explains his nonchalance. Regardless, one would think he would want a vaccine found for this virus sooner rather than later, especially now that someone has our research." Cole stood from the chair he had been sitting in and crossed to Cara. "What can I do to help?" She issued a sarcastic chuckle and leaned against the fireplace mantel. "Can you map an epitope or run an antigen test?" Confusion clouded Cole's face, and he shook his head.
"I'm not even sure what you just said qualifies as English."
"Now you see my problem. Fire Beach isn't exactly teeming with medical researchers, and most of what I read would be Greek to everyone else."
"Fair enough. You might be the only researcher here, but you seem knowledgeable. I have no doubt you can get the job done."
His eyes locked with hers, and Cara's breath stilled. The concern and care in them was so deep and so warm that she felt unable to look away. He felt like a safe haven, a port in the middle of a storm. Why did he have such an effect on her? Before he could say anything else, his phone rang, breaking the connection. Regret flooded his face as he retrieved his phone from his pocket.
"Sorry, I have to get this."
As she watched him exit the living room, her heart fluttered in her chest. She needed to get a hold of herself. She had no time for relationships, and certainly not with a man who had come here believing she was a suspect.